Welcome to Beyond the Box.
Our guests are insiders that are now out and on our side, dropping nuclear intel and breaking it down just for you.
And now it's time to introduce our hosts, Brenda Lankridge and Suzanne Haunt. Join us and subscribe for weekly shows. Beyond the Box begins now. Let's jump in.
Hey guys, and welcome back. I know y'all missed us. Hello, Julie and Denise. And we got to wait a minute. Norma should be here soon. She's always a little late. So tonight we have Debbie Davis with us again. And that poor girl's been under attack. So I'm hoping that we can get a good reception with her tonight. And everything will be okay. And Susie, I sure do hope you've had a better day than I have.
I think so, for sure, from what I heard.
Just smack it. Just smack it. So what have you been up to?
Well, it was like a couple days ago or was it last week? I had a terrible day. Like you're having it this weekend. I had it last weekend.
Yeah. When your cow was out, your red heifer was outside the damn fence, knowing she's in high demand. And she's just outside your fence looking at you like, hey.
Yeah, we got that fence fixed now. She can't sneak out. And the black cow came back. The bull came back from the neighbors.
The bull came back?
Yeah. He goes back and
He's
forth.
got a girlfriend over there and a girlfriend in your pasture. He just goes back and forth. Susie, your bull is a hoe.
Those bulls are bad. Yeah, they just, they don't know what fences are. If there's a heifer over there, it's just, he's gone.
That's my girlfriend over there. I'm going to go visit.
Yeah. And they don't help any because they'll stand over there and moo at him until he comes over there,
Right.
So.
Oh, my neighbors are fighting. I hope nobody comes through my wall. I'm going to be really mad if they knock my teeth.
Oh boy.
Like,
Hey, that'll make things more exciting, right?
Yeah. Why not? What the heck?
Yeah.
And they better not be. That's all I got to say.
Just cap off the night with a good fight, right?
Next door. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So before we get started and we bring everybody in, would you like to start us off
with a
prayer? Because God, we need Jesus bad. There's something going on.
I know. Okay. Father, I just ask that you just really send Jesus and all his helpers to help Brenda and me and all of us that are under attack, and everybody in listening that gets under attack by demonic forces or jealous spirits or angry lying demons or anything that wants to cause us harm or interfere with our lives, or and I just ask that I look at Jesus as the most powerful, greatest being ever created by God, and he is there to protect us, to direct his angels to protect us, to keep us, and I just call upon him and all his angels to keep extra watch over us, because we've been under some spiritual attack. The things that we bring up, Brenda, and the things that the people that we bring on, it's difficult. We're all trying to help targeted
Yes.
people or individuals that are been satanically ritually abused, or I mean, we people that have gone through hell, and we want people to heal. We want people to be protected and stuff. And so, it's not easy. And there is a spiritual attack when you're going through this stuff. So, you know, I'm just calling on the angels, and I'm calling on Jesus, and I'm asking the Father to bless what we're doing and to, keep a hedge of protection around us in Jesus' mighty name.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, hey, Debbie is here. Come on, Andy, get out here. Andy. Hi, Andy. Andy says,
Howdy,
shut up,
Andy.
radio.
Andy's in 17-degree weather up there. Oh my God.
Out there. Go shovel the snow, Andy. Go shovel the snow.
I wish we were getting snow.
I know, right?
We go along with the weather.
Yeah. So let me bring out Debbie. Hi, Debbie.
Oh, there we go.
Hi, Debbie.
Can you
Yeah,
hear
we're
me?
here. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
It's good to see you.
So, how have
Yeah.
you been?
Oh,
Oh, there it went.
there you are.
Already.
Okay.
There she is.
Okay. Okay. Oh, geez. Well, I just like what your prayer was. Boy, I would just go through a lot of spiritual warfare, but I'm still here, and and I want to warn other people, that are like the incoming administration, and anybody else, of all the things that the deep state is capable of. That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
because boy, have I been through
Yes, you have.
it.
It's true.
Yeah,
It's like,
because a lot of people that haven't. Well, there's a lot of whistleblowers that aren't with us anymore, that
yeah, I know.
that haven't that didn't make it, and I, by the grace of God, have made it through this to warn other people, the incoming administration, or any whistleblowers or veterans, or or the like all the other people that you just prayed for.
Yes.
All the tactics that have been used on me, and how demonic this is, and how complicated, and how high it goes. It's unbelievable how high this satanic
Debbie,
stuff goes. Nobody. Yeah.
give us
Yeah.
your take on it. Like, how do you think? Can you break it down in that structure? What you understand and what you've learned about it?
Yeah. Yep. That's what I was going to talk about tonight. And so, okay, so I'll just do a brief, just like what I've talked about before. But my name is Debbie Davis, and I was in the Army National Guard for 15 years, but became a whistleblower at the end of that career, accidentally, and a witness to a crime. And when I was working full time at a base in Arizona National Guard, at the Papago military base there, and I was an accidental witness, or working at the base, when there was some kind of money laundering scandal going on. And so myself and another female admin there turned these guys in. And it wasn't like, we were trying to purposely get ourselves in trouble or targeted, certainly.
Right.
But it was because
Now,
we didn't want to
Debbie,
be, held responsible.
didn't you go to Trump with some
Yeah.
information? Yeah.
Yep, I'll get to that part. So, yep. So I was a inside person working with Trump for the whole 4 years that he was, the first 4 years. So, and I'll tell you how that started for me. And but basically they found there was a money laundering scandal that they found in Phoenix that ended up being $2.7 million missing. But then when Trump looked into it further, there's, it turned out to be a lot more going on there, like a weapons laundering, money laundering, all kinds of stuff like that. So what happened is I became targeted after that point and lost my military career. And that was like around 2013 to 2012. And so before he got in office in 2016, when he became president-elect, November 2016, I decided that I needed to get because I was so targeted and almost didn't make it through those 3 years before from 2013 to 16 or whatever. Before I was desperate. I was being targeted by the deep state on every level, and so no. So what I did is I drove to Trump Tower with a big packet of information for him of all the different things all the different people that I wrote into to try to get help, and all the different agencies I tried to contact, because they pushed me illegally out of the military just for reporting a very serious crime. They uncovered $2.7 million was missing. So clearly
I
it was
find that amazing, Debbie, that you went to Trump. I mean,
oh
did
yeah.
you know that? Did you know that Brenda is the daughter of Robert Kennedy?
Yes. Yes. And I
And
want to hear more
yes.
about that. I want to hear more about
Oh
that. Yeah.
crap.
You told me that, Susie. You told me that,
Yes.
but I'd like to hear more about her story too. I know she has a story too, but yeah, no,
Yes.
yep. So I drove in November before, so I thought, well, I'll try to make it to him before he actually gets in the White House, you know. So he was still in New York, and I had this big packet of information of like all the people I wrote into in the Army National Guard, to the Army National Guard Bureau and everything, and senators and all, and nobody, not a single person helped me. And so I had this whole packet of people I was writing into and different things that I've learned that have happened to me, and so I got the packet to Trump Tower. It was surrounded by Secret Service, and so I got to Trump Tower. They did a background check on me, and the Secret Service. I got interviewed by the Secret Service for an hour and talked to Trump like over the phone with the Secret Service and stuff like that. And then I had been given a contact. So I got a contact person at that point that I could write into if I had more information to send to them. And I was in contact with them for the whole 4 years. I was like a little like military insider, a little military like insider for him, I guess. Just sent him different things that I thought he should be aware of. And I got like 4 plaques from him, like 3, recommend, just something nice, things that he sent me over the years.
Nice.
Yeah, I got some plaques on my wall, but yeah, and I was the one. If you look up, when he was being inaugurated in January, when he was first inaugurated, so that that very January, that next January, if you remember, if you look up the the article that talks about how he had the head of the DC Army National Guard removed at 12:01, like the very minute that he was inaugurated, where he was like, put up his hand.
Wow.
And he had the head of the Army National Guard removed from command, because he would have been the head of the security of the inauguration, the Army National Guard. And those were the very people that I was telling him that I was writing into, that did nothing to help me. So he knew they were deep state. I was the one who told him that. That's why he had him removed.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Good
was
job,
the one.
Debbie.
I was the one who told Trump about that, because I said this goes all the way up to the head of the Guard Bureau, this corruption. Yeah. So he absolutely listened to everything that I was saying, because he didn't have a military background. He just had a business background.
Right.
So and there were so many people that he couldn't trust in his administration.
Right.
Especially
See, he needs
including
everybody.
the top. Yeah.
He needs everybody to, like yourself and all of us that know these things, to help him learn, because he can't know everything. I mean,
Yeah, of course. He wasn't military, and in a lot of the upper brass, he couldn't trust, and he had to learn that, and
Yep.
and then he had, I don't know if you remember, but he had the issue where he knew he had some kind of inside leaker, because it seemed like they always knew
Oh.
what they were talking about in the White House, all the meetings, and he's like, do I have a leaker? Well, it had turned out that the deep state,
It was bugged.
Obama administration had put cameras and spyware all over the White House.
Oh,
They sure
shoot.
did. They sure
Yeah, because
did.
he kept thinking that he had he kept thinking he had a leaker,
Oh, I
a
remember
spy.
hearing
Remember
about that.
Yeah, it was the deep state CIA. They had
Of
spyware
course.
everywhere. They probably still do. All over. There wasn't a word anywhere he could go where he wasn't spied on. And he kept thinking, well, who is it? Who is it? Right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, it's the deep state CIA. But anyway, I, by the grace of God, have made it through this, but a lot of people haven't. I mean, there's so many people around me and whistleblowers that I've been in contact with, and that have passed on, that have disappeared and been murdered, and so this isn't a joke, and so I've learned the different agencies involved in this whole thing, and it's feel free to interrupt and ask me anything you want, but yeah, the different agencies that I've
You're on a roll.
Okay.
Get it.
Okay. Well, anybody that's in the incoming administration, or they need to know who these players are that I've learned that are part of the deep state. So they so for sure we know it's the deep state CIA, and it's like I don't know, well, okay, the CIA, the real CIA is supposed to be responsible for just foreign affairs
Yep.
that have to do with sure some real CIA that are not deep state, but a large majority of the CIA is just mostly the deep state. I mean, it's like but originally they were supposed to be responsible for foreign any kind of foreign threats to our country, and they were supposed to help.
I think they forgot their
and
job, Debbie.
Yeah, well, I think
I don't know if
did,
it's as much as they forgot their job, but there was people out there that expanded their job.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
They got a whole
that's
new
what
job
happened.
now, and it's to go after their own people. That whole new job now. The job description has been completely changed, and so now and they're all over our country, and they're deep state operatives and they're spies, and they cloak themselves as like in these different tech positions. They're in the tech companies, they're in the marketing positions, they're in, they're in all over our government, all the different areas. They've infiltrated, basically we've been infiltrated all over every
Debbie,
agency. Mm-hmm.
I have a question. Okay, so I had Penny's diaries and stuff, and in it she said she wishes that she could rejoin the CIA, but she calls herself Agent Shepard. And when you look up what an agent for the CIA is, it's a spy that goes and spies on the American public.
Yeah.
So this is her position that she's taken, and she jokes about it. She says, "I'm Agent Shepard. I'm Agent X11, Stranger Things," and then she throws a little bit of,
Did you tell? Did you tell Debbie
fairy tale story into it, huh?
Did you tell Debbie about the strange package you got that was addressed to Agent 11 or Agent Shepard?
Yes, I got a package the other day, and it was addressed to Agent Shepard.
Did you open it?
Yes. Had 25 pair of glasses in it.
The same kind of glasses.
Same 25 pair of glasses.
Of the same glasses. How bizarre is that?
Not really when you sit and think about it. She's watching Susie.
She's watching me 24/7 or 25/7.
Oh, that's the yep. That was that's symbology. She's watching.
Yes.
You. How freaky is that? Have you talked to her at all?
Really freaky. It's like, go away.
Really
stop.
freaky.
We're not into women.
But she tells everybody she doesn't have any money, but she's got she left all she's got she always she gets paid from somebody in California and New York a check every month, and she's got around $3,000 each month in her bank account. And she only gave me $200 a month for rent and everything because she didn't have any money, she told me, which was a
Yeah.
lie.
I remember
Yeah.
you showing me when you were starting to figure out who she was, and
Yeah.
and she was being sent the money by PayPal, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that PayPal, yeah. And I had a lot of problems with PayPal. Like I had PayPal as part
She
of.
has quite a few of those different ways of getting money. And then she gets, now that's just the money that goes into her bank account. She says she can't take money from individuals because she can't show it on her bank account. So she takes money orders and different other ways of getting money. And so, she gets quite a bit of money from people. She was using my dogs as a way of telling people she needed money, and people were sending her 150 or 200 or whatever on top of it. And then she was ordering stuff from Amazon, like 3 to 5 packages a day were coming to her, and she just had buying stuff all day long and just I mean, crazy stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, she
Yeah,
used to tell me that
very
whenever Susie,
deceptive. She turned out to be very deceptive. But these people,
yeah.
and I'm pretty intuitive, but these people are really good actors. I mean, they really have, and they fooled me a lot of times. And I mean, they be working for different places, or and they have people right there watching me. They put in different positions right on different jobs I've been in, different in the military there, in the I mean
well, they
just
like
everywhere.
they
They're
like to knock
everywhere.
on my door. I mean, at least they're polite enough to knock on the door. The look on their faces, though, when I slam the door in their face, that's priceless.
Yeah, but yeah, so but they are real sneaky, and they are good actors. But the
Debbie, do you
agencies.
think you have anybody around you that's like that? Like, that you don't, that you think they're your friend, or, but they're
Oh my
really a
God, I've had.
spy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've over the years I've had tons of them. So when this first happened in 2013, I had some people sent to me that I thought were my friends. This one guy I was dating for a while, who it turned out to be that he was sent to me. And
Wow.
that happened in Arizona, and it turned out that he was actually sent to me by the deep state to be like a spy. And then
How
I
did you figure that out?
broke it
How
off
did you
with him.
figure?
Oh, he was just turned out to be, well, he would just turned out to be real weird. He really started to freak me out, some of the things he was saying after a while, and it made me afraid of him. He was just, he was just a very strange character. So certain things he said kind of hinted that he was a dangerous. I just felt like he was dangerous after a while, and so I
Okay.
distanced myself. He came
Because
off as
they
a
are, when they're trained to be assassins. Penny would always say that she killed people, and that was part of her training.
Yeah, certain things, and I didn't know anything about it at the time, but certain things he said, I was wise enough to know. Well, I guess it's really my intuition that has kept me alive over these years, because it's just I would get this gut feeling about somebody, and then I would just kind of distance myself, and same thing, like over the years, just if I felt like I wasn't supposed to go somewhere, I just wouldn't go. I just listened to
Right.
it's the Holy Spirit. It's the Holy Spirit. It's the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
They always tell you to listen to your gut feeling.
Yeah.
Because
Your
it is
God
your
feeling.
body and your spirit warning you.
It is, yeah. And so it but and then I've had different places I lived. So then when I moved back to Minnesota, and then they had, and I'm thinking, well, they pushed me illegally out of the military. And that, I still have a pending lawsuit against the Arizona National Guard. And that's the other thing, is that, the courts are owned by the deep state. They never let it even go to court. I have a multi-million-dollar lawsuit pending because I
Wow.
They illegally pushed me out.
Well,
I
I
didn't even
pray
get.
that you get that taken care of and get things straightened out because you've been through a lot of suffering.
Oh, tremendous. I mean, just for trying to report a crime that turned out to be true, and they
Yeah.
never, and then they never said my name in the article when it came out. It said like an employee, um, you know, uh, pointed out something with this colonel or whatever, but they never said my name. And so when they didn't, when they don't say your name, and they made sure that to never have me on any kind of major shows or anything. And the plan was to take me out because, just so nobody, they want to take you out as a whistleblower. They don't want people to know about you.
Yeah,
They'll take you out, and
there's
you'll
been
just,
several.
yeah, you know. So they never put my name on that article when it came out, when all this money was missing. And I was like, I was the one who reported it, nope. And they will, and then I'll try to be on different radio shows, and they'll be threatened not to have me on. The hosts will be threatened to not have me on and things like that. Um,
Really?
oh yeah, I wouldn't. I tried to be on many shows, and they just somehow like got backed out like last minute, that type of thing. Yeah.
All right,
But oh yeah,
guys,
this
we
goes
might
super high.
have we might have little glitchies happening. Right now, my system is kicking into overdrive because my screen flashed red, and it does that when anybody tries to get into my system. So if
Okay.
we
Uh-oh.
glitch, it should
Yeah.
pop back up. So just letting you guys know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and remember we had this issue before, Brenda,
I
where
know
yeah,
it happens. I
and like
had
the
Penny Bradley
audio
on
or
here, and the
Mhm.
FBI wants to get a hold of me, and I need to talk to you about Penny. Well, go watch the show. You know about as much of her as I do. You know where she's at, obviously. So go talk to her. Get off
Yeah.
my doorstep. I ain't got nothing for
Oh
you.
wow.
Yeah,
Wow. And that was
I
like
don't
a
have around
yeah.
here.
Yeah, that well the FBI so when I first moved back from Arizona, and I thought, okay, I'm in danger. I had a lot of people following me, and different people that it just became really clear that I wasn't safe in Arizona. So then I tried to move back to Minnesota, where I'm from, and I was in this one apartment, and I had them deep state agents move in all around me. So, I'm here I'm thinking I'm got away. Nope, they're all around me. They follow me, listening to everything that I'm saying through the walls or whatever they're doing. And um, then um, I did, and then I was getting literal death threats right on my phone. They're, we're gonna take you down. You're going down. We're gonna get you, that kind of thing. I mean, just little, just flat out death threats. But then, I didn't know who these people are, so I tried taking these death threats right on my phone to the FBI here in Minnesota, and of course, I'm scared, and
Right.
they didn't do anything. They just said, well, we don't have any way of tracking down who these people are. And I'm like, well, neither do I. So isn't that your job? You know? Yeah,
Right?
the FBI is deep state. The FBI has been infiltrated. So so I don't, yeah, I definitely had no luck at all with the FBI in any state that I lived. And I tried also South Dakota too. And the same thing. They were
Well,
just
Debbie,
working with.
isn't it? It's like there's good and bad in all the agencies, and it's
Yeah.
just like, who do you trust? And it's trying to find that right person. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Right?
Yeah. I well, of course, we'd like, of course, I'm sure there's, of course, in on all the agencies, not all the police are bad, but a huge
Right.
majority of them are Masons. These part of these secret
The,
societies, and
the higher ups. Yes.
yeah, and same thing with the FBI. I mean, I'm sure not all of them are bad, but a majority of them are probably in the secret societies as well, and or CIA or whatever. I don't know. They're just, they've been infiltrated. My understanding is that the CIA is at the very top of the deep state, and then they give the orders to the FBI, and then the FBI gives the orders down to the police. So the CIA is at the top, So the CIA is running our government. Yeah.
That would make sense because they were responsible for the assassination of JFK.
Yeah. Yeah, the CIA somehow infiltrated, and then it's all, and the deep state money comes from the human trafficking and the black market and the organ market, you know, and everything. The human trafficking, the drug trafficking, the black market selling organs, and they you know they can. That's where a lot of the money for the deep state comes from, and they, believe me, they have a lot of it, and they so they have a lot of these agents, and you know, and they target people who they know, like, maybe don't have another option for a good job. You know, they target the people and they get them to work for the deep state, you know, and they pay them like 6-figure incomes to spy on Americans. You know, this is not like small change. They're making like 6 figures, at least 100,000, and they to spy on us. So I mean, your average, maybe the 20-year-old or whatever that, you know, might be offered a job like this. Well, what do you think they're going to do? You get your fancy cars, and so I've had them follow me, and so a lot of times they drive Dodge Chargers. So I've seen they're still around me. They're still following me with these Dodge Chargers, like white ones, black ones, gray ones, orange ones. They like their fancy cars, you know. So I have them follow, and that's still happening. And that's been happening for the whole time. You know, these fancy car guy type people.
It's so ridiculous, Debbie. What do they think you're gonna do? Like go back in there and, you know, take down? You know what I mean? It's like, you know,
they just go out. They put me on a targeted list. So they put me, as soon as I became a whistleblower, or you become a threat. It goes back to the Patriot Act that Bush signed. And after
You're
9/11,
my favorite person in the whole freaking world.
huh?
the what?
I said, oh, my favorite person in the whole freaking world.
Oh yeah,
Not-
because you have the story with the Bushes, Brenda. Yes. Yeah. So well, it turns out that our own government signed the Patriot Act after 9/11, and the Patriot Act, you know, and then this is when all the spying, the police got to then spy on all the innocent Americans, and that's when they got access to be legally start spying on us, because in they were supposedly looking for terrorists involved in 9/11.
You mean
Okay, so
people who pray against demons? Is that what they're looking for?
Yeah, we're considered terrorists. Yeah.
You mean all the American people? Because we like this country?
Because we like our country. How dare you?
I know, right?
We love God, and you know, we want to live in peace and have a good country, and, you know, treat each other right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I think we need to get rid of money.
That's what
and
happens when we allow Satanists to be at the top of our country.
Yeah, we need to get rid of money and go back to just trading like sweet potatoes or something for our stuff.
Yeah.
It's about the safest way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So, well, a lot of people are you know, can be bribed. I guess that's what I figured out. You know, it's unbelievable how many people can be bribed. But then the problem is once they get them in to these agencies, they have very high level mind control, and they get them, and they don't even really know at first what they're getting into, and then the mind control is so advanced. It's so much more advanced that it's, you know, they start out like normal people, like our own, you know, like any of us, and before you know it, within like a year or two, the mind control is so advanced that they turn them into psychopaths. Mm-hmm. And they just become psychopaths. I mean, I just can't explain it, because they can come off super normal around you, like Penny did, right?
Yeah.
But secretly, they're secret psychopaths. You know,
it's like, you know, she was trained to be an actress, to play a part, and so, you know, it's kind of like that. You know, they can pretend very well and play a part very well, and, you know, because they're getting a paycheck for it, you know. And
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. I mean, but it's like, they sear their conscience somehow, and they just don't even have.
Crap.
she went to the
Sorry,
black
I got a phone
screen.
call. Okay.
There's your.
There you are. You went off the
So
screen
yeah,
for a
and
second there.
they somehow are able to sear their conscience. So after a while, they really just don't have a conscience about what they're doing. I
Right.
mean, they just don't. It's like they can come off normal, but they just don't have any conscience,
Do you
or
know there's that scripture
they
that
don't
said,
care who
it
they
says,
hurt.
God
It's like
says,
they have some program in the CIA where they
God
just
said,
somehow
can you hear me, Debbie?
I don't think she
Well, I was
can.
going to
She's
go
say
in
there's
and
a
after
scripture.
out.
She's going in and
And
out.
that.
Debbie,
Go after that part.
there's this,
Hmm.
you made me think about this scripture where it says that God will turn them over to a reprobate mind and let them believe the
Reprobate
lie.
mind.
Yes, they're
Yeah.
reprobate.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
they've
it's
lied
just
so much
unbelievable
now
because
their mind believes the reprobate, the falsity that they've been putting out there, and they're like, their brain is really effed up. It's like mind
yeah,
control, literally.
it is
So
mind
these
control. Yeah,
people have,
it's
these people
I
have
don't know
learned
how it
to
works.
develop that. Yeah, the reprobate mind. Yeah.
But you know what? I don't think it works on real Christians. Like if you're really sold out to Jesus, I don't think it works on you. You have to. It's like anything. You have free will, and
Yes.
so once they took that bait and they agreed to work for this agency, that was they had the free will, and it's like, okay, they agreed now to sell their soul, because you have
And
to
they,
agree,
right.
otherwise they can't take your soul, and they
That's
can't
right.
take your mind. Like I'm covered by the blood of Jesus, and I cover that over my whole body every day, and brain and everything, and they can't they my understanding is that they can't do mind control on, if you're really covered by, if you're a real believer and you're covered by the Holy Spirit, and I don't think it works on. You have to agree to it. We have free will,
That's
and
right.
but
Everybody
once
has a
they
choice.
agreed and they signed that contract with the CIA, then it's like a legal contract, and now they start working them, and they go after that reprobate part of the mind, and they just turn them into psychopaths. So we have to, it's a spirit. It definitely is a spiritual battle. You know,
I
they
think
don't even
so.
know what they don't even know what they're getting into at first. It's like people in the Hollywood. Well, you just have to sell your soul to become famous. That's it. That's all you got to do. Well, I mean, sounds
Oh,
real
God.
fancy at first, and then before you know it, you lose your whole life. But the
Uh-oh.
people keep trying to call me. Okay, but yeah, it's the
Oh,
CIA, the FBI, and then it's these fusion centers. These fusion centers are involved. So there's there's call centers. It's they call themselves Department of Criminal Apprehension, and there's one in each state, and they're part of the deep state. There's one right
Right.
here in St. Paul, and what's happening, and what they do to targeted people is that the police have like a stingray type device, is my understanding, and it can bounce my calls. Like, say if I try to call you, Susie, or Brenda, or whatever, and they don't want us to talk, or if I'm trying to call out for help for somebody, they won't let me call that agency, or that they'll bounce it to a fusion center, and they'll pretend like you're calling the
Yep.
real agency, but it's really a fusion center. Yeah,
whoa.
and
Yeah.
they're trained to
You didn't know
call and
that,
act.
Susie?
Oh yeah,
That's crazy.
it's
I knew
yeah.
about
I'll
that.
think I'm thinking I'm calling like Amazon, and it turns out that I'm calling the fusion center in St. Paul, and they're trained to act just like the customer service.
What?
They train them to act just like, and they got all the data, and they're trained to act just like the customer service you're pretending to call. And but you're really not calling the real customer service of that company. You're calling a fusion center that's been trained to act like customer service, or
Jeez.
FBI, or yeah. So that's they're in every state. They're called Department of Criminal Apprehension, and they're
They
working
should
with the
call
deep
that the
state.
Loki Center, the Trickster Center.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, one time I called them and I said, well, because when I was trying to call this one customer service, at one point, I was recording, and I said, am I talking to the real customer service, or am I talking to a fusion center? And the lady went silent, like she was like, she knows, and then she went silent and hung up on me.
Oh, geez.
Like, mm-hmm. Yeah, you could hear her. She knew she was in trouble.
You call it a fusion center?
Yes.
Yeah, they're called fusion centers, and but they're really called Department of Criminal Apprehension.
Those are the people that call me.
There's a building right here in St. Paul,
Yes.
and it looks like it's glass, and it's got, and I went over there because I was informed by another targeted person that, the
Really?
fusion centers they're also called Department of Criminal Apprehension. So, yeah.
Now,
So I went over there and I
call
videotaped it.
Now, when they call you, I have found a way to confuse them. I answer the phone and say Dallas County Morgue, or I say City Sperm Bank, and they hang up on me.
That's funny.
They don't like me.
Brenda.
They don't know.
Yeah,
there you
go.
They're so used to people that are afraid of them. They're a bunch of bullies, but you're not afraid.
Nope.
And they don't know what to do with people like us who have just gotten over our fear of, it's been over 10 years now, and I'm still here, and I'm just not afraid of you anymore. It says in the Bible, it says, expose the darkness, don't be a part of it. And so what we're doing is we're just doing what the Bible says to do. We're exposing the darkness instead of being a part of it. So that's what I'm doing. But yeah, I went over.
Yeah, because God says He'll bring all the dark deeds to light, and expose them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it says in the end days that everything will come to the light. Everything that is hidden in the dark will come to the light. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of things are. But yeah, I have a channel, a YouTube channel, Debbie Davis, Arizona National Guard whistleblower on YouTube, if people want to look my channel. But I went over and I recorded. Yeah. I recorded when I went over to this Department of Criminal Apprehension when I realized that was the other name for the fusion centers. And I said, that's the other name for the fusion center. So I'm like, there's one right in St. Paul. I'm going to go over there and see what this building is all about. And
wow.
Yeah, and it was like this huge glass building.
You should have asked them if they were hiring, Debbie.
Yeah, are you hiring? Yeah, that'd be funny. Yeah. And they it looked like it could be a big call center. And that's exactly what it looked like. And then when I went in there and I said, what do you do exactly? And they said they do like fingerprinting and background checks. That's what they told me, but it didn't look to me like anything like a building for the public, that the public could walk in and get background checks or anything. It looked like a call center.
Oh, wow.
And there was big glass doors. You couldn't go in, everything was.
Uh-oh.
That reminds me of one of these movies I saw. I can't think of the movie. I don't know if it was Flash or they had this huge Chinese call center where everything was being processed through a call center computer. It was crazy. They put that in the movies,
Yeah. It's a call center. So, and they're in every state. There's one in every state. Department of Criminal Apprehension. And yeah, and you can't go in. They supposedly do fingerprinting or background checks. I've never heard of this office in all of my life, Department of Criminal Apprehension. And so I was like, what exactly is this about? So I videotaped it. And as I was videotaping it, and I was over there, I had police driving around the building and watching me. And with their lights on. Like they were like upset that I was there.
Good.
Trying to
Well,
scare me, I guess. Yeah, I have it all on my video. You can look at my channel.
And next time you'll have to find out if they're hiring and what is their
Yeah, yeah.
what's
Are
her
you
pay
hiring?
grade?
credentials. Yeah, what do you have
Yeah,
to?
I should go
What's
over
her
there and
pay grade?
record and say, "Are you hiring?" Yeah, what? and,
Right.
yeah, and see what they say.
How much do you
Yeah.
pay?
It is it is
Oh
just all
yeah.
so
Oh no.
crazy.
I'm sure they. Yep. I'm sure they. Yeah. I'm sure they only have their own deep state people there.
Pretty sure.
But
I'm
Right.
pretty sure.
Probably have to go through some kind of ritual before you can get the job or something, you know.
right. Yeah. No, I mean it doesn't. I don't know. I really don't know what exactly they do. Okay, it looked to me like a call center, and apparently they're doing fingerprinting and background checks. Okay, for who? Like the incoming immigrants, or I don't know. I saw people going
In
in and out.
Arizona is in
I don't
well,
know.
I guess you could have it in Arizona. There's a lot of traffic coming through there.
Yeah, I mean background checks maybe for the immigration coming in. I don't know, but
No,
it
because
didn't
they're
make
not
like
background
any
checking them.
sense. It didn't
Yeah.
make any sense to me, like what they did. It didn't make like I don't. But and then there's another agency that I found out is part of the deep state called InfraGuard, and they're supposedly supposed to be protecting our um, our structures, our
Structures?
infrastructure, our infrastructure of our country, but they're
Okay.
completely deep state. They're
And
completely part of
useless.
the deep state.
And useless.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I mean,
Did I say that out loud?
You said
yeah.
that.
I mean, we've had look at all these train disasters that we've had,
Yeah.
and that's part of our infrastructure. And then and then ships hitting bridges. That's part of our infrastructure.
Yep.
You know,
Would that be
where were
a
you?
FEMA? Would that be part of the FEMA crew, or when the floods happen and the disasters happen?
Yeah, and FEMA's totally infiltrated. Yeah, but
Oh, we're gonna find out about that tomorrow.
these, if you were really doing your job as InfraGard, as trying to protect our infrastructure, then you would get to the bottom of who is causing all these train disasters. And and when I looked it up, it's usually the same company involved in all of the train disasters.
Yep.
It was that one train. I forgot what it is. Crap, I forgot the name of them right now. But it's like if you look up the train disasters, most of
Blackguard
them
or
that have
whatever?
happened, most
Yeah.
of the train disasters where they derailed, and then there's always like a toxic spill involved. It's usually this one train company, and it always seems to be like the same train company. Um, and a lot of them
Are
are
you
involving toxic
are you talking
spills.
about the ones that haul the evergreen?
Or Blackguard, wasn't it the name of the
The
company? Or
Blackguard,
I think
What's
Evergreen,
that?
Blackguard. Are you talking about the one company that hauls like the evergreen cargo?
Um, I
I've
can't.
heard bad things about
Oh
Evergreen
yeah,
Company.
Evergreen. I've heard.
Guard.
Yeah, I've heard those
Oh,
Evergreen.
we know who is
Part of the
who is
contract.
59%
Shareholder?
shareholder in Evergreen is Hillary.
Who is?
Hillary.
Oh yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that they're very highly involved, and the trains the train was owned by the Rockefellers, right? Where
Yeah.
doesn't it go back to the Rockefellers? The
I think they
trains.
own a little bit of everything everywhere. They have their
I don't
hands
think
in
they.
everything.
I think they own a lot
Yeah,
of
but these.
everything everywhere.
I mean, but there was like these train disasters in Pennsylvania. There's a toxic
There
spill.
was
Then
one that was in
Ohio.
Palestine,
Yeah,
Ohio, I think,
yeah,
and
Palestine,
and
Ohio.
there was a movie made about it that came out. They were making the movie about this train derailment and then the chemical getting in the water,
Uh-huh.
and then they made the movie. and they made the movie in Ohio, and then it happened
Mhm.
right after the movie
Mhm.
was finished, and the
Yeah.
same
Right.
exact thing. Now that's
I know. I heard about
weird.
that.
That is
Yeah.
weird on every
They're
level.
trying to
Yeah.
warn us.
I don't believe in
I noticed.
coincidences.
I noticed they're trying to warn us. Yep, this is about to happen. Um, it's like their way, the Satanist way of like washing their hands. Well, we told you
They don't want to
if you were
get
too dumb to
karma.
get the hint.
They do certain things so they don't get
Yeah,
karma.
yeah, they really do think that. Well, we warned you in Hollywood movies. If you were too dumb to get the hint, then
Figure it out.
we have the legal right to take you out. We warned
Yeah,
you. We
yeah.
did. Literally, it's they wash their hands of it because they
Hey,
figure
one
that's
of our
their way of
guests,
warning us.
Debbie, one of our guests, Woo Ryder, said
Oh,
it
you
was
mean
called White Noise,
Yeah, white
the
noise. Yep.
movie.
Yeah, white noise. Yep.
Thanks, Woo.
Yep. No, I think yeah, I think that's their way, and with the satanic the Satanists, that's when they figure, okay, well, my understanding is that it's like an Illuminati thing, that they it's if they the legal, if they tell us, they have to tell us some
right?
way, and they figure
Well,
if
they
we're
say that the
too dumb
reason that they
to
tell
not
us
pick it up, then they have the
they
legal
don't
right.
want karma. So to
Yeah.
keep that from coming back on them, they tell you about it beforehand. So
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah, it's
that's
some kind of
weird. Some
satanic
kind of weird
Illuminati thing.
satanic ritual. Yeah.
It's some
Well,
kind of ritual. They said they have to tell us, and
they
then
do
if
it
we're
Yeah.
too
not
dumb
only,
to not,
yeah,
then they think we're dumb cattle, and that they
just,
have the legal right to take us as slaves because we were too dumb to
I'm going
take
to
the
say it
hint.
again,
So,
people. I'm going
hmm
to say it again. Our government does not care about us.
yeah,
They
Hey,
do
that
not.
was a song Michael Jackson
They really don't care
sang.
about us. Yes, it was one of the
Yeah.
last ones
yeah.
that he made, and he did it deliberately
Oh yeah, Michael
because
Jackson tried to
it's
warn us.
it's yeah, because it's not only in
They don't really
movies.
care
They
about
do it.
us.
They
Yeah.
put it in music. They put it in cartoons. They put it in commercials. You just got to be open enough to watch and see what's going on to recognize it. But once you see it, you can never unsee it. I go places and see crap all the time and think, God, why did I see that? Well, that's
Hmm.
because, when you figure it out and you open your mind and you really sit and think about it, I mean, it takes you a little bit of time when you first figure this out to grasp it. And you think to
Hmm.
yourself, oh, no, really, seriously, that cannot be going on. And then you figure it out and it's like, oh, yep, there it is. Monster. Of course, we all know what the monster can stands for. The letters on the monster. We all know what that is. It's a
666.
It is. So I went to a store one day, and it was a convenience store. So I stayed in the car and pulled up there, and there was the big, posters they put outside and had the monster drink. Well, it had a new drink that they came out with. And I sat back a minute and I looked at it, and I'll be doggone if it wasn't 666 all around in a circle. And I went, son of a bitch.
Because it's a Hebrew letter 6 on the monster drink. It's a Hebrew
Monster.
letter.
Oh
Yeah.
666.
yes,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know. I've seen that. Yeah, I don't. I just stay away from
And
those
it's the same way
drinks.
with Google Chrome. Look at Chrome.
And you know what they say about water, and when you when you put demonic stuff or negative stuff on water, it changes the consistency of it. Then you drink it, so you're like cursing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, we all know
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah,
we all
exactly.
know we
They
can't
probably
we can't eat anything.
they could put a curse right in that monster drink. There
Yeah.
was when I was on the border mission in Arizona, when I first joined the Arizona National Guard, I was sent down to this border mission where we were building the fence, the original fence in 2006 and 7 under Obama,
Yep.
along Arizona and California, and there was a girl that died of heat exhaustion down there, and all she drank all day was those monster drinks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's all
They're
she
not
was
good.
drinking though. But but that's all she was drinking, and that's kind of her fault. I guess she was super dehydrated. I think she already had high blood pressure issues or something on top of it. But yeah, she went into heat exhaustion and she died.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I
died.
used to.
And then after that, then they brought us
Yeah.
out some
Now,
Gatorade, different
years
things.
ago, right.
But
Now, years ago, I
uh,
used to drink those Monster Javas years ago. Okay.
mhm.
And I'd have 3 of them a day, 3, 4 of them a day. Well, one day I wasn't feeling good and I went to the doctor and I was having heart palpitations like mad to the
Wow.
point where I was gasping for breath. So I went into the doctor and he said, "Well, have you changed anything?" And I said, "No." And he said, "How much coffee do you drink?" I said, "1 cup a day." And then he said, "Are you drinking energy drinks?" And I said, "The Monster Javas." He said, "Stop it. If you
Ooh.
want to blow your heart up, go ahead and keep on going."
Wow.
Ooh.
I was like, "Well," and I stopped drinking
Scary.
them and they went away. None. No more.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We have to be really careful, like what is in our food and in our drinks, and I mean, it's just everything is just. Well, I'm so glad that Robert Kennedy was assigned to that part of
Yes.
that job, because hopefully he'll do a good job. And,
He's really
and
speaking out. I
mhm.
like him, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully,
He
we
had
definitely
a
need to
he
clean
had
up
a
our
actual
food and.
conversion to Christ, and he talks about gives his testimony, he came to believe in Christ.
Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah. Um, yeah. So hopefully he'll do a good job cleaning up our food and our drinks, because I mean, even the people that come over here from different countries, it's just like they gain weight and stuff because we have so much preservatives and crap, so much more crap.
Yep.
And
Well, it's a known
it's
fact
hard
that there are
to.
other countries that our food is not allowed in their country.
Yeah, yeah. Some things
And
are
that ought to
banned
tell
in
you
other
something.
countries from
Yeah.
here, right?
It's like,
What does
what?
that tell you? That means it must be pretty bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's bad.
Mm-mm.
It's sad.
So our meats, like a lot of our meats and the corn, it's so much of it is GMO, and they're like, no thanks.
That even our fruit now,
Yeah.
they're spraying like apples were never meant to be shiny red.
Right.
Not what a true apple looks like. They're shiny
Yeah.
red because they coat them. And
Yeah.
we're eating them. We're eating this stuff. But,
Yeah.
and I said, I think that the reason why a majority of the population has not died off from eating this stuff is because they were doing it slowly. So, what they did was by doing it slowly, our bodies kind of built up a tolerance to it. So
Yeah.
now they're starting to really dig in because they know it didn't work the first time. So it's like, well, I'll just add more. They're letting Bill Gates run around and put little stickers on all everything because all his crap. That's all right. I said what I said. you
Uh-huh.
know, I mean, these people are insane. They are insane.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah. I mean,
they
I
don't
just.
care about us. They don't
Mhm.
care. They have wanted to make America a third world country for decades. And the only thing that has been stopping them is our Constitution. And
Yeah.
that is it.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Well, I mean, it says right on the Georgia Guidestone, see that their plan, they put right the plan, well, I guess they mysteriously got blown up, the Georgia Guidestone, but it said right on there the plan they have to kill 2/3 of the
Population
world.
reduction. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right.
I mean,
That's right.
they put it right on there what their
And
agenda
and
is, and
by them doing the whole transgender thing, sorry, I don't want anybody to hate me, no hate stuff. This is my opinion only, YouTube. But by them doing the whole transgender thing, do you know that they're eliminating the breeding process? What does that do to our population down the line? Takes away the fact that people can't be having children.
Mhm.
Now, we do have some people out there that probably shouldn't be breeding, but but still, that's what they're doing. So in
Mhm.
between that and other pokey things, and
Brenda?
different stuff like that. Yes, I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
No,
I didn't
I'm
say
going to
it.
say they're probably into bestiality because they like the Baphomet. So they're probably just wanting to create like these hoofy dudes. You know what I mean?
Oh God, the hoofies. Penny, penny, penny. Should I marry the Satan with the hooves? Do they come another way? I mean, seriously.
Yeah, that was in her book.
Right. On that
Penny
note, guys,
said,
hang on.
"Should I marry the Satan with the hooves?" And they go, "The animal," and they said yes. And she's like, "Oh, effing, okay, okay." Like she agreed to it,
So,
okay.
On that note,
That's how
guys,
crazy they are.
we got to take our 5-minute break
Okay.
because I have to go find a closet or something. So we're gonna take a 5-minute
Take a
break.
5-minute bathroom break here.
Yeah, I'm gonna run. Well, I ain't running anywhere, but I'm
To the
gonna
little,
wheel
you
my
gotta
happy
walk,
butt.
or you gotta go to the little girl's room. Yeah.
Yeah, that place where
I'm gonna
no
go get me
man
some
should
coffee.
ever be. No man should ever be. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So y'all get your coffee,
Okay.
do whatever.
We're gonna take a 5-minute break, Debbie.
Okay.
And everybody
We'll be
out
back.
there, you guys
Mhm.
know the drill. We'll be right back. Oh, what happened? Oh, there she is. Maybe. And we're back. Ta-da!
We're
Just like
back.
this.
Where's Debbie? Is she
She'll
there?
be back. I think her internet's just bucking. Oh, there she went. So I'm going to take a 2-minute thing here, just to poor pity me for a whole minute. I had my feelings hurt tonight, you guys.
Oh.
Me and my poor feelings. Really?
What is that?
I don't know. It's a DC call, and I'm not answering it. Hi there.
Hi.
Good.
Who in the
Yeah, I
heck is
just got
calling me from DC
yeah, I just
at
got
9 o'clock at night?
like
Get out of town.
What happened, Brenda?
Oh, no, wait, that's Casey. What the hell are you calling me at this time of night for, Casey?
yeah, I
Casey
keep
trying to
getting
call
I'm
you?
getting text
Yeah, I told her
messages
to call me
and
today. I didn't say, like, at night. God, I
Just
love
have to
her.
send her a link if she wants to come in and listen to Debbie.
I've got to go through and do it on the pretty fly for Casey, on her email. Do you have her number, Susie?
Um,
Well, I'll tell you what. You guys go ahead and talk. I'll call her back.
okay. All right.
Okay.
You call her back. And I wanted to answer a question while you're doing that real quick. Brett asked a question about let me go back and see what the question was. He says, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna go find the question. Is the transgender coming from the Talmud? So my take on it is, I mean, I know the Talmud is kind of a weird book, but my take on the whole transgender thing, it stems back to the Norse story. Loki is Lucifer. Loki was a frost giant. Loki becomes female, male. He becomes animal. He can he can he can be he can become a female and give birth, or he can be a male and give birth to children. So to me, that's a transgender thing. You know, you're a male, you become a female, and then you want to have babies or whatever. You know, or you do the bestiality thing, and then like in Egypt, they had the half animals, half human. Um, so in Norse, there was Loki's had children. His children, one of them became the wolf dog, that's what we call the dogman or whatever. But he chose to stay a wolf and turned into a giant wolf. And so yeah, that's where I get it from, is when you go back to that story, because he was a frost giant who had the ability to shapeshift and do all those things. So, and they worship Lucifer, the dark dude. Yeah.
mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, this is yeah, there's a lot of Satanists all over the world. This goes really, really high. And the other agencies involved are the Department of Homeland Security. They're not a real agency. They're not here to protect our homeland. You would think we would get the hint right by now. Well, they haven't secured our border, have they? After all these
No.
years, the wide open border, and Mayorkas guy. I mean, he needs to be arrested for treason. Hopefully he has been, or hopefully he will be. But yeah, they have a satanic agenda against our country. In it, they're trying to bring in. They were going to try to make our country the new Babylon, or the new Jerusalem, the new Babylon. Rebuilding of Babylon. Right.
Right. It's I'm just hoping and praying that all the right people will get in with Trump and help Trump get this job done, because he can't do it by himself.
No, yeah, a lot. I couldn't believe, like, when I did a lot. I tried to do a lot to help him. I would write in and different things for the whole time he was in, and yeah, I just couldn't believe, like, how many people it turned out that he couldn't trust in his in all these different agencies. I think he was just blown away himself at how bad how high the deep state goes. You know, he didn't know. He didn't know.
Because they're good actors. They're very
such good
good
actors. Yeah,
at acting. Yeah,
they
they
are.
play
Yeah,
a
yeah.
part. Hmm.
And yeah. So I mean, you know, I think the average person, I mean, had no idea like what he walked into. I mean, and
Right.
I had already been dealing with the deep state for as a whistleblower for 3 years, so I did my best to warn him as much as I could of all the different agencies and stuff that were involved. And yeah, I mean, it's literally like everywhere. Like this neighborhood watch people, you know, like this different signs in your neighborhood. You know, they're part of the deep state apparently. I mean, Citizen Corps. You know, I don't know. It's like all these agencies that you think are there to protect you are actually doing the opposite. You know, the police, the FBI, the neighborhood watch. You know, what do you think? Who do you think you're calling? Neighborhood watch, like some concerned neighbor? No, they work directly with the police. I mean, you know, none of these agencies are doing anything to protect us. If they're all deep state. And you know, people have to you have to protect each other. You know, we have to have each other's
Yes.
back. We can't
And
trust our government.
Susie, Brent had a question about the red heifer, and I want to let you know right here, just so I can see you smile. Casey said, count her in.
Do what?
I said, Casey said, count her in.
Okay.
I
All
said,
right. That's
next
good.
Friday, I will get it set up.
My
So,
take on the red heifer. Well, I had my first red heifer born about the time all this stuff started happening. But my take on the red heifer is this: these are the same people. If you can remember when Jesus was in Jerusalem and he was speaking out against these people that were sacrificing in the temple, and he was saying that your God is Satan. You know, he was explaining that very clearly, and they didn't like Jesus. Okay, so sacrificing a red heifer is a ritual. Okay, now the supposedly the ritual was that the heifers were to be born in Israel, and then they were to put the burn the heifers and then put their ashes on these holy men or whatever, so whatever. But instead, they came to Texas and bought red heifers and then shipped them back there to do the ritual. So for whatever reason, this witchcraft ritual, satanic ritual is going on. They've involved Texas somehow and tied it into the cows and the ritual with the Texas red heifers, and then took them over there into Israel. And now they're performing, and they're trying to get as many people as they can to get in covenant with this ritual and thinking that this is God and this is good, and it's not. It's a blood ritual. It's a satanic animal sacrifice ritual, and you know, you just got to look at and you got to look at Jesus. He did not fit in with this group, and they wanted to kill the man because he spoke out against them. Okay, so my take on it is, you know, rebuke it. Don't have anything to do with it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
and your little red
Yeah.
heifer
That's
needs a
supposed to
belt
be
put
yeah,
on her.
that's
Ouch.
yeah, that's
Do
supposed to
what?
be kind of something like they say when that heifer is sacrificed on the new temple, then the Antichrist will appear or something like that. That's my understanding. Something like
It
that.
has a
I
lot to
don't know.
do with what their agenda is. Yes. Hmm.
Yeah. I yep. But yeah, so they have yeah, but you know what? There's this Bible verse in Zechariah, I think it's 13:8. So their agenda, they believe that they want that 2/3 of us are going to die, and that there'll be the 1/3 of us will be left, but we'll just be slaves to them. Okay, and that's that's what their clear agenda clearly is. It's right on the Georgia Guidestones, and it's been talked about. Deborah Tavares has talked about this for years in the NASA files that she found, that she's talked about on many different channels for years. She tried to warn us, just Lady Deborah Tavares, stopthecrimes.net. But yeah, but you know what? It says the opposite in Zechariah 13:8. It says that the end 2/3 of all man will die. So it says the exact opposite in the Bible, that 2/3 of them are going to die,
Yeah.
and we're going to be the ones left.
That,
So
well,
you know,
that goes,
the Satanists
Huh.
have everything opposite of Christ.
well, you know, that
Okay.
goes along with what Susie
Yeah.
said the other day.
Yeah.
She said that she is starting to think that when they talk about the rapture, it's not us leaving this planet. It is them being taken away off of this planet.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
one
I
of
never
the
thought of it that way.
scriptures, Debbie, one of the scriptures is very bizarre since the Mandela effect. I've noticed now it doesn't say there will be two in the field, one at the well that'll be taken, the other one left. Now it said there'll be two men in the same bed, one will be taken, one will be left.
Mhm.
Two men in bed together.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Mhm.
That's what
Yeah,
it's
and the
talking about.
Antichrist spirit is real anti-women. He doesn't like women, like
No,
it'll be
not at all.
like it'll be real. It's already gotten really bad for
And what's
women, and
happening,
it'd be really even worse in the end
right?
time, you know,
And
for women,
what's
'cause,
happening
like
with this whole, with the transgender thing, if you've noticed, they're trying to get rid of women. I heard
yeah,
one of the
You mean
trans
real
women,
women?
yeah, one of the
real
trans
women.
women said that they think that it ought to be a law that men should at least date and sleep with one trans woman, and they would know that it's better. And I thought to myself, really? Because that's not what my body parts say. But you know, that's just me. But they're downplaying women. They're
Yeah,
getting rid of women.
yeah, they're
Okay.
trying to downplay our role. It's like we're a real threat.
Well, because we
Women
are.
are a lot more spiritual than
Women
men.
are spiritual.
Yeah,
Women are strong. I
yeah.
mean, we are the ones that give birth
Hmm.
to keep the population. So
Hey,
what
well, they're
better
working
way
on they're
to
working
stop it?
on messing it up if they
Yeah,
can.
and what better way to stop it than to take out the women population? Get rid
Yeah,
of the women, we cannot produce any more children for this earth.
yeah. Oh, right, exactly.
But then that's where they're bringing in those pods that keep the babies for 9 months. And that's how they're saying that that's supposed to be. But you know what? That's not even right. What is the one thing that a mother has when she's pregnant? You have closeness with that fetus. That
Hmm.
fetus feels you. That fetus hears you. That when a baby is born, the first time that a mother opens its mouth, that baby, what does it do? It turns its head towards the mom, because that is a voice that it knows.
Hmm.
Okay. So they
Preach
start,
it, Brenda.
yeah, right? So when they start playing with growing babies in pods, oh yeah, they're going to have a people in there trying to touch it. That is not it. That those babies that grow inside of us have to feel. They have to be secure. They have to know that people think fetuses don't know anything. I am here to tell you. First thing that develops heart, brain, nerves, they feel. When these girls get abortions, those babies feel that thing going in there like a frickin' spaghetti noodle mixer and pull them out. Those
Hmm.
babies know. They feel it. They have
Hmm.
nerves.
Hmm.
So everything that happens when a woman is pregnant with that child, it affects that child. You know, it's they are going to breed nothing but a bunch of frickin' soulless humanoids if they do it like that.
Hmm.
These children are going to be born with no soul, no caring,
Oh, right.
no
Oh, right.
loving, no
Right.
nothing,
Soul. Yeah.
because that is what they get when they're in the womb. I'm sorry,
Hmm.
but that's it. You know,
Right.
like it or not, that's what happens.
Yeah. That's what
What they're
they're. Yeah.
doing is wrong. It's wrong.
Mhm.
In so many ways, it is wrong. Now,
They're trying to play
I
God. They're trying to
yes.
play.
Now
They
I
always
understand.
try to.
Right. Now, I understand that there are some people that cannot give birth. There are some women that can't have children. I was supposed to be one of those. And that's why when I had my daughter, I almost died. But I always wanted more, but I could never have them. Okay. So, in that instance, people who accidentally get pregnant and don't use abortion for birth control, those babies can be adopted to people who will love that child and care for that child. So our children in this world suffer enough because of all the things that happen. So why you got these women that have these babies, and what do? Wrap them up in a garbage bag and throw them away like they're trash. People are finding alive babies in the garbage because somebody said, oh, well, I don't need this. What on God's creative earth is wrong with these people?
Yeah.
I went through a part in my life where, and thank God, Susie made me realize that my sister and I were not put up for adoption because we weren't loved. We were put up for adoption to keep us safe. So, but there are people who they just like a garbage. They treat children like garbage. And it's ridiculous. But they do it because what is the one thing that would not really harm, upset God's heart? And that's those children. They are born innocent when they come into this world, and innocent is what he likes. They're born that way when they come into this world. So what better way to get back to mock him, anything like that, than to harm an innocent child?
Right.
Think about what they did when Jesus was prophesied coming to birth. They tried to kill they did kill all the children, trying to kill Jesus. And Moses, they tried to kill Moses, and any promise of God that was going to do a thing for God, they went out and they murdered all these children.
Yeah. And I really love when people say, oh, pedophilia is not that bad in this country. This isn't happening. Excuse me. I was 5. I was 5 years old. My whole entire existence was taken by a man that they let get into the office of the United States and was president.
Wow.
I could not ever have a normal childhood after that. And that is something that I have never forgotten. That has always been in my head.
They need to have a lot of counseling for these poor people, poor kids that have been victims of satanic.
Now, but you know what?
And there's nothing right.
But and hopefully they'll have something later, because I did. Yeah. I went through 10 years of therapy. But when the therapist is asking you, well, do you know who did this to you? And your mother is sitting behind you going, because how do you tell your therapist? Well, yeah, he's the president of the United States right now.
Right.
How do you tell a therapist that?
Go right to the psych ward right there. If that's what you see.
Well, there's nobody that's going to protect you against that person because he's the highest on the list.
Yes.
Right. And you know what? And I heard from somebody, and with that Asheville, North Carolina disaster, Helene, because they're like, because there's all of the, like, there's hundreds of bodies that they're still finding, and that they really don't know who these people are. And what I was told was that there was a pedophilia ring there, and that they were like onto them apparently, and so they created this disaster, and a lot of these people were already dead in these underground facilities, and they just let them out in the in the flood.
Well, tomorrow,
and then that's why there's all these bodies, because there was like a woman like severed in half or something, washed into the. It's just like, that doesn't happen in a normal flood. They're like people that are like severed. And look like they've been tortured that are washing up. These are from, my understanding is that there was a pedophile ring there and that they just let the bodies out before they got caught or something.
Yeah.
That's what I heard from somebody.
Well, now I might as well tell everybody now, because at 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, we are going to have a show. Listen up. Drum roll. Nadine is coming on, and she is highly upset right now. She just got back from North Carolina with the foundation. She went out there. So she is coming in. She called me this morning and asked me if we could do an emergency rush thing. So I have 2 shows tomorrow, guys. One is going to be at 5, and I'm not sure if it's going to be an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. And then I have Michael Anthony coming in at 8 o'clock. But Nadine will be here tomorrow to let everybody know what's going on. She's going to be giving names and phone numbers and businesses out. She's going to spit it all out. And she wants to give out phone numbers so everybody can call these places and say, hey, you guys are full of shit. Because FEMA got to them, and they're doing those people dirty, nasty wrong. These are people that have lost everything. Some of them have lost family members. They have nothing left. And FEMA is treating them like they are third-class citizens.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's pretty intense. Like
horrible. It's horrible what they're doing.
Yeah, they're like.
I had her on the phone crying to me. She was like, I got to do this. You know, I was going to set her up on a show for Sunday. She goes, can we do it sooner than that? I said, well, looking at the time now, and I've got to go to the store, we can't do it today, but we can do it tomorrow. So yeah. I'm sticking her on here tomorrow at 5 o'clock. So yeah, if you want to come back tomorrow, Debbie, at 5 o'clock and sit in and listen to what she has to say about North Carolina, you're more than welcome to.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and so there's this one guy that I just got sent a video of that is, you know, because it takes us to all start making calls and all come together as a group. And so he's going around. He's his brother was tortured to death by directed energy weapons from a base in Canada. His name is Michael Miller, I believe. And he's so he's going around now, and he's sitting in front of this military base in Canada, the one that tortured his brother to death. And he's out there just videotaping, and he's videotaping the license plates and everything. And he's like, these are all the people involved that just sit there, and this is their job to torture innocent citizens. They tortured my brother to death. And he said, I hope that I can get a whole group out here next time that I come. And I've been hit by directed energy weapons, and a lot of there's other veterans. I mean, these are real. This is part of the deep state agenda too, and these
scary stuff,
satellite weapons, and also the HARP out of Alaska. There's I actually got hit by one really bad just 2 weeks ago. I didn't tell you. Oh, well, I haven't told you about this, Susie, but yeah, I have felt different sensations before, but this was like a direct hit on me, and I never felt anything like that before. And I literally felt like I was having a stroke, like the entire day. Yeah, and so I got it was when I was visiting this person or whatever, and I believe anyway, I was walking out and I was dizzy walking in my car. Then I get in my car, all my arms start going numb. I could barely speak. I could barely look at my phone. I could barely drive.
Debbie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Wow. No, it was really scary. So it had, I thought I was having a stroke. So I went in and saw somebody, and it wasn't a stroke or a heart attack. I got hit by a directed energy weapon. It took out my electrical system. So she got me hooked up to a bunch of electrolytes, got fluids in me and everything. And then I was fine. So it apparently it just shocked my electrical system. And thankfully it wasn't a stroke, but it felt like it was. Yeah.
So the electrolytes, can you carry that with you, that if it ever comes again, that will help you, or what? Does that help?
Oh yeah. Apparently she got me on some good quality, electrolytes like Gatorade or potassium, but I got just some, I had to get that.
Wow.
Get my system put back
Well,
my alertness was off.
I'm going to
My
tell you this stuff is just now coming to light, but um,
Scary.
the DEWs have been around for quite a long time, and
Mhm.
people tell me, well, how do you know? You just hear this? It's a conspiracy. No, I come from a high-ranking military family background.
Mhm.
I've
Yeah.
known about this stuff for decades. I grew
Yeah.
up knowing about this stuff. A lot of times, I even get fair warning when things are going to happen. So those have been around, those directed energy weapons have been around for a long time. Our
Yeah.
CGI has been around for a long time. We are so much more advanced than people know because they keep us stupid. They
Yeah.
keep us dumbed down. They don't tell, we are
Oh,
not
that's
privy to
conspiracy. Oh,
any
that's
of it.
conspiracy. And like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's their favorite word to call us. But
Yeah.
these and the directed energy weapons are like right under these dome looking things. Like a lot of the CIA offices have these white dome looking things, and they all um there's directed energy weapons under each one of those domes. There's
Yep.
So what do they shoot them from a building, or where do they shoot this from? This
this
energy
this
weapon.
guy this guy's brother. It was Camp Legion or Liam, Camp Leon or something in Canada. And there was a directed energy weapon, or there was this big dome in Arizona when I was on the border mission in Yuma that was hitting people. I could feel it, and other people could feel it, but I didn't know what it was at the time. It was just because I thought it was a Doppler. They said it was a Doppler radar. No, these things are not Doppler radars to try to help us with weather control. These are directed energy weapons underneath these
Yes, they
domes.
are.
Yeah, because
Sure.
they were trying to say, oh no, these are Doppler radars to help us with the weather. No,
I
these are
wonder, Debbie, if
like,
they're tracking people through their cell phones and, like GPSs,
Of course they
following them.
are. Of course they are.
yeah.
And now they've gotten to the point. I was just recently informed, probably about a month ago. Our 5G towers that we have that supposedly are for our 5G phones, they're not what we think they are. They're not what we're being told that they are.
No.
Our direct energy weapons are being routed through that stuff.
Through-
Do you know why they're putting them all over the place? They get ready to set that off. They can hit a whole shitload of people at once.
Yes.
And people do not. There are people that work installing this stuff that don't know this. There are
Yep.
people who work in fields where they think that they've got it all planned out, but you only have what they allow you to learn.
Yep.
Okay? People are going to be just dumbfounded when they find out that everything that they learn, a lot of their degrees, no, it's not true. They're being taught only like doctors. Do you know that? Well, of course you know. We all have parasites. Every one of us have parasites in our bodies. When doctors go to school, they are told, "Oh, well, it's good to have some parasites in your body because it eats the bad bacteria." That's a damn lie.
Whatever.
No,
Yeah.
they keep them in us because why? Why? It keeps us sick. It gives us diseases. They have
Mhm.
already, they're starting to uncover. We've got some doctors in in other countries that are finding out that, well, these little parasites, some of them are the cause of cancers.
Yeah.
Get rid of the
Yeah.
damn parasite. Get rid
Yeah.
of the parasite.
Mhm.
That's why now a lot of people who say they have cancer, instead of going and getting
Yeah, our
treatment,
bodies are no
they're
different than animals,
detoxing.
and all animals have parasites.
They're
Mhm.
detoxing people.
I mean,
These
we're not
people are
machines,
starting,
we're like flesh and blood,
Yeah.
yeah. So they're detoxing now, and that happened to me when I was in the hospital for those 14 days. I didn't eat for 7 days. I couldn't because everything in my stomach was swollen 3 times the size it should have been. So all I wanted was ice and water. Well, when you fast, you kill them
Yeah.
and you pass them.
That's why Jesus taught about fasting kills parasites. It's in the Gospel of Peace. There's a book called The Gospel of Peace. You can go on YouTube and listen to it.
And
Talks
and
all
what's the
about how to
version?
kill the parasites.
Yeah. Now, and here's another insight. Now, I love my doctor. I love him. Here's what he told me. Don't listen to anybody tell you you need to eat 3 times a day. You don't have to go days in, 40 days and 40 nights fasting. You can put yourself on a time fast every day. And then when you do eat, only eat certain things that night. You don't have to go fasting for days on end.
Finish telling the story about what happened to you after you did all the water, Brenda. Fasting.
All the water. Oh, yeah. I'm going to put this out there, guys, just because I'm Brenda and I can. So I did all of that. When I came home, I was still kind of hurting and kind of sore. I could go from my bed to a bedside commode. That was it. I couldn't even get in there and get on my walker and use the bathroom. So I get home. The only thing I wanted to eat when I got home was maybe some Jell-O. That was it. I still couldn't eat. It took me quite a while. So I get up to use the bedside commode, and my caregiver walks in here, and I was gonna swing to go sit on the bed, and he goes, "Don't move, don't sit down." And I said, "Okay, why?" He said, "You have something falling out of you." And I was like, "Excuse me?" So he gets them off of me and shows me, and I said, "Are those worms?" And I'm here to tell you, them some bitches were about this long. And he goes, "Yeah." I said, "Oh, you wait till I get a hold of the doctor tomorrow." So I called.
I told you, Brenda, go get you some wormer, girl. Get the rest of them.
I called, and I told. I didn't get my doctor because he was busy, so I got his assistant. So I sat her down in front of me on the screen, and I said, "Look at here. One of two things is going to happen." And she goes, "What?" I said, "You're going to give me something for tapeworm." And she goes, "What?" I said, "You're going to give me something for tapeworm, or I'm going to go to my vet and I'm going to tell him my dogs have got tapeworm. I will get something from the vet and I'll just double the dose." She goes, "Well, hold on, don't do that." And I said, she goes, "What?" I said, "Woman, I've got worms falling out of my ass. Give me something for this." And she goes, "Well, maybe." I said, No, honey, you don't know who you're talking to. I already know we all have parasites. I'm just telling you, give me something to get rid of them, because I can't take like the ivermectin and stuff, because they tell you if you're taking blood thinners, don't take that because it can cause internal bleeding. So I can't take that. So now I have this thing with my doctor now. Once a month, he gives me a pill, and every month I take that pill and kill it. My doctor don't mess with me. He's like, "You are correct." I'm like, "Okay." So
What did
yeah.
what did they give you for it then?
It's this one. You only take this one pill, and you can take it once a month. I don't remember what it's called, but it will kill the tapeworm, which most of our parasites, that's what they are, is they're tapeworm.
Okay.
So, but yeah, and so I have a detoxer also. I've not only got that Numi, but I've got some other stuff plus that pill. So I'm constantly water.
She's working on it now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, because that better never happen again. Because if that ever happens again, I will go and tell the doctor, "You know what? This is full of crap."
To my vet. I'm going to my vet.
That's right. The vet won't lie to me. But my doctor is great. My doctor is young, but he also believes in homeopathic remedies. He knows I hate every medication I'm on. So he is constantly in the book trying to find natural things that I can take, because he knows I cannot stand medication. But unfortunately, because I get phantom pain from my leg missing, I get pains from my hips because I don't have that leg, so my hips will go crooked. So I have to get them popped and adjusted back into place. Now I had neuropathy all up and down my left leg and in my ankle, dead spot, the top of my foot, all dead, right? Couldn't hardly ever move my toes. Well, I went and bought tuning forks. And every night before I go to bed and every morning when I wake up, I smacked them tuning forks and I put that vibration down on there. And you know what? The neuropathy in my leg is gone. The neuropathy around my ankle is gone. And I only have one small spot still to work on that's dead on the top of my foot. And I can move my toes like it's nobody's business. And I haven't been able to do that in probably about 9-10 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, I'm doing shit my way, and I don't care who likes it and who doesn't like it. I had to get rid of my thyroid doctor, because every time you turn around, oh, you need something for this, or you need something for that, or you need, and I'm going to tell you another story I found out today, and I am so upset. When my thyroid doctor first started me on my insulin, I was taking the highest concentrated insulin. I take Humulin RU500. It is the highest concentrate. I was taking enough insulin to kill a horse. I was taking 120 units 3 times a day. Well, I went from my A1C being 12, which is very bad, in 6 months, and I worked hard. 6 months it went to 5.5. Now, here's a note. Normal is 4 to 5.6. My thyroid doctor said, oh, that's way too low. I don't like that. She yanked all of my insulin except for 50 units once a day. My sugar shot up, was all over the place. And when it was down at 5.5 and she kept telling me, oh, that's too low, I don't like it, I felt the best I had felt in years. I had energy. I felt good. Constantly smiled, up, jumping around everywhere. And she took that away from me. So I got rid of her. I took everything and put it all to my doctor. And so I have an appointment with him on the 9th, and I'm going to let him know. Seeing my A1C today was 7.9. I'm going back to 120 units 3 times a day, because he knows if I don't eat, I won't take that 120 units. So it may not always be 3 times a day, but I'm going to tell him I'm going back to it till I can get that A1C back down in the 5s. And he's going to look at me and say, okay, keep an eye on it and let me know how it works. Hey.
But you've been drinking that mushroom coffee, right? And it's been helping you.
I've been drinking mushroom coffee, and I'm going to tell you something. The mushroom coffee keeps me from getting hungry all the time. It gives me energy. I went back to doing workouts. I went and told Jack, bring me in them 10-pound weights, man. I got some working to do. It's great stuff. It really is. It cost me, it's a little pricey, but it makes me feel better. Mm-hmm. And it's supposed to be for, it helps sharpen your mind to remember things, gives you energy. It helps with gut health. And they also said that it will help start to lower your A1C. So since I've been drinking the coffee, and I'll tell you, because the A1C, when they do A1Cs, anybody who's a diabetic, it's for 3 months prior. Okay, so my 7.9 is from 3 months ago that they just took. So I've been keeping an eye on my sugar. And do you know that since I drink that mushroom coffee, I will eat dinner and not take a shot? I drink that mushroom coffee. It does not spike my sugar. And I have been in the blue anywhere between 75 and 100 for the last 4 days.
Good for you. Yeah,
So
we have to do what works for us, and I mean,
yes.
and then you find stuff that works,
Yes,
and then
Norma, it has lion's mane in it. Yeah.
And then you find stuff that works, and then a lot of times they take it off the market, the FDA or the deep state. That's what I found over the years too. I'll have a product that is helping me with something, and then all of a sudden, you can't find it anymore or whatever. Gosh, so it's, yeah, our FDA is a mess. Everything is a mess. Every agency is a.
Yep. So I have just been thinking to myself, and I took the mushroom coffee to my doctor, and he said, "Go for it, do it. Let me know when I get my appointment. Let me know how it's working for you because I might put my wife on that." He does that all the time with
Interesting.
me. It's so funny.
Yeah.
He'll
See, so
sit
if it
there and
works
he'll
for
look this
you,
stuff
he's
up
gonna
right in
try
front of me. Yeah,
it.
he'll look it all up right in front of me and go, I think you can take this. He's great. I love him. I would not trade him for the world. And I waited 2 years to get in to see him because when I first wanted to go see him, the other doctor I had, he was trying to kill me. I know he was. Even my caregiver said he was trying to kill me. So I went in and they were like,
See,
"Well,
there's
he's not
even good and
taking new
bad
patients."
doctors, Brenda.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
And he said, "They're not taking new patients." Do you know I checked every single month for 2 years? And the first time they said, "Well, yes, he's taking new patients," I said, "Put my name down. I'm coming today." And I'm there. And I even told him, I told him, if I move out to East Texas, I'm not giving up this doctor's office. I'm not giving you up. I will drive
You
five
will drive
hours to
there.
come to a doctor's appointment. He goes, "Well, you don't have to do that." He goes, "Legally, I only have to see you once a year. So we can do video visits the rest of the time.
Good.
We can mail you your medication. And I think it would be great for you to get out into the country and go do something with horses." And I said, "Me too." He goes, "Maybe one time I can bring my wife and we can come out and visit, and maybe I can teach. We can get my wife to learn how to ride a horse." I said, "Ooh, teach Susie will teach her." So, yeah, yeah. I mean, he is just great, and I
That,
could, I couldn't be happier.
oh yeah, it's so hard to find a good doctor. Then you want to stick with them, and you're like, please,
Yeah,
please don't leave.
and he's really upfront with me about a lot of things. When everybody was getting sick a few years ago, he turned around and refused.
There we
He
are. Okay.
refused the people in his office to have to get that squishy thing. Said no. Do you know what kind of fines that man had to pay?
Huh.
A lot. But
Wow.
he didn't care. And when I first went in there and seen him, I said, "I take nothing. Nothing." The
So,
only
Debbie, I have a question. Oh, I'm sorry, Brenda. Go ahead.
You're fine. Go ahead.
Okay. I was going to say, what is your kind of what is your closing thought, Debbie, on everything and that you would want to tell people about?
Well, I guess there was um, a lot. Okay, so those are the agencies that I wanted to tell people about, but like all the different type of things they did to me, and what they're capable of is, well, of course, making us sick with food and everything. But I literally all the things that have happened to me. They've tried poisoning me through the food. Um, I've had heavy metal toxicity, so that I've had to get on a product and to help me detox that, because they tried poisoning me in that way through water or food wherever I was at the time.
Putting it in your
And
food? Yeah.
in Phoenix, it was a Phoenix that happened. Yeah,
Did they put it in your drink or your food, or was it
the
metals and
water.
stuff, or
It was
what?
in the. I think they poisoned the local water supply that right at. I said, you have to be careful of who's working in your city, in your local city, because there's T
Yeah.
valves under all of our streets, and they can get right into our water supply. And I saw them working on the water, um,
Oh.
like right outside the apartment that I was at in Phoenix. They had a whole thing opened up, the whole ground opened up, and then I started feeling sick after that. So I think they poisoned the water right outside the
Oh.
apartment I was in. Yeah, or somehow. Yeah, I mean, you know, and so I have some heavy metal toxicity. I'm still working on getting out. But I started getting sick after that, and then.
I mean, if they bomb
Um,
buildings and they do all kinds of crazy stuff, who's to say, what they'll go to what level,
oh
right?
yeah, yeah. You have to watch all your city workers too. I mean, they're involved. They're involved in the deep state, and yeah. So I mean, I literally have had like every single device hacked that you could possibly hack. Every computer I've ever owned has been hacked. Every phone, and even my printer. Like half the time I can't use my printer. It's
Jeez.
just I don't know how they do this, but they do something where it just doesn't print. Just won't print. Like it just won't transfer it over to the printer, or my Wi-Fi connection will go out or something. And like so half the time they do that to me. I mean, and then with my own business, I've had my shopping cart hacked. So like when people try to check out and buy products from me, half the time the shopping cart doesn't work. The CIA hacks it, find some way of making it out. I've had that happen. God, it's just nonstop. Um, and then I've had these customers that turn out to be fake customers that they have sent to order some of the things that I sell. And then what they do is they buy the product and then they'll try to say it arrived damaged or it wasn't what they ordered. And then the merchant companies, thankfully this isn't happening anymore, but in the past, then they would take the side of the customer without even allowing me to even dispute it. And then I would lose money on a fake fraud charge against me and that kind of thing. I've had that happen. Um, then then I had I talk about directed energy weapons. One time they hit my car with a directed energy weapon, and every single sensor was fried. The entire control panel sensor was fried. So this happened in Aberdeen, South Dakota. I was just driving on the road there because I own a house in South Dakota, and all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, I'm just thankfully I wasn't driving fast or anything, but all of a sudden, like my whole car just shut down as I'm
You
driving.
know,
It
that
just shut
sounds like a
down.
lot of stuff with the
I'm just like,
UFO people
what?
say the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my whole car just shut down. I mean, it just shut down like, I mean, it was weird. And so, yeah. And so I bring it in and my entire control panel, like that controls all the sensors in your car was fried. Like, how does that happen? Just out of nowhere, you know?
Everything all at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I had that happen. So that was, again, some kind of directed energy weapon that they could use on your vehicles.
They're all out.
Yeah, I've had my tires slashed, either a nail in them or just outright slashed. They've done that to me. So I had to spend lots of money on new tires. You know,
Crazy.
I mean, these guys are killers. Um,
Yeah.
I've had a computer stolen out of a place I lived, and then that kind of thing, and
As if they're looking for
yeah,
something on the computer or something, huh,
yeah,
Debbie?
whatever. Like, yeah, like what are you looking for? Yeah, I've had, or just so I couldn't do videos, maybe so I didn't have a computer to upload video or whatever. They've done that to me. Um, yeah, so I've really had it all happen, you know.
Yeah.
So so I think every person in this incoming administration needs to know the type of games they can play. I've had packages in the mail tampered with. I've had my mail tampered with for years. Um, but now that I think of it, I don't know if it's actually somebody tampering inside the postal system or if it actually is the CIA um, tampering with it when it arrived there.
Which
At that
reminds
person's.
me, Debbie,
Yeah,
do
like
you remember
I
of
don't know
the
if it's like
movie?
inside the post office or somebody actually just tampering with their own product and pretending that it arrived damaged, but they're really the ones that damaged it themselves. Because then they would play
Remember the
that game.
movie? Remember the movie, The Men in Black? And they tell the story how when he gets retired, they go to work in the post office. So they're all the postal workers messing
Yeah,
with the mail. Yeah.
yeah, they do. Yeah, they're the post office. So the post office, what I learned because I've tried filing multiple complaints because apparently This happened for years where the packages were arriving damaged. The things that people ordered, and then I would send them to them, and I would take pictures and photos of everything of how I packaged it, and I got it checked, and by FedEx or whoever, and made sure it was packaged correctly. So there shouldn't have been any reason why it arrived damaged. or at the postal inspector. It wasn't anything
Right.
wrong with the way that I was packaging it. So but then they would play these games saying, well, then I'm expected to send them a free part because it was the part arrived damaged to what they ordered, and I'm like, so just nickel and dime me to death with those type of games. But no, the post office is very corrupt. The post office is now not even a government agency. It's a private company. So I don't know if people in the United States know that, but the post office is been taken over by a private company now.
Let me
Really?
uh,
And
let
it's
me
got a
show you
board of
guys.
directors that runs
Let
it.
me
It's
show
not
you
even
guys
a government
something.
agency anymore.
What do you?
Let me show you something. Dennis
Okay.
Carroll. He is another guy that does shows. He's a demonologist. He comes on my show. So he sent me something. Okay. Waited. He kept asking me, never got it. This is how it showed up.
Ripped open?
Ripped open. You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Wow.
he sent me in that
Yeah.
was tore out of the bottom.
What was that in there?
Came from it was my necklaces that he sent me.
Oh
They
my
were tore out of
gosh.
there. Tore out of there, gone.
Yeah.
And that was like the Michael the Angel necklace or something like that?
Oh, shoot. Just knocked over my speaker. Yes.
Wow.
Yep. They were gone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Somebody they have deep state agents all over the post office. Some of them are tampering and stealing the mail, and then some of them are. And then sometimes maybe it's people tampering with it on the other end, but it's all throughout the whole
yeah.
process of the post. So I use FedEx now. I haven't had as many problems, but I don't know. I don't know who to trust with shipping anything anymore. I really
Wow.
don't. I really don't. I mean, because I've had so many problems in that area. But
Yeah. I had to go
and then
to a shipping place the other day to send something out to my daughter. We don't use post office anymore. Not after that. I'm done
yeah,
with it.
no, yeah, and then I would have insurance on all these packages when I was using the post office. I would have insurance. I would file a claim, and they would most of them were denied. It's like, what?
What?
Denied? I just showed you. I showed pictures of it. Yeah, they said, and they would write back, denied because we can't prove it was damaged within our care. I was like, well, whose care is it in then?
Yeah, right?
Whose care is it in then?
It was Santa and his reindeer.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's insurance fraud because I had insurance on these packages. So that's another thing they did to me. I mean, and then I lost money there. It's just like nickel and diming me to death with everything over the years. It's just, yeah. I mean, these people are
It gets
demonic.
old. Yeah.
It is so demonic.
Yep.
Yeah. So I guess,
And it
I
gets
guess
old.
that's
Crazy.
yeah. So I mean, I have every story you can possibly imagine of different things that they are capable of. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look at what's his name? John McAfee? Is it McAfee?
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
McAfee.
Him, Cappy,
Isaac Cappy.
yeah, all these people that tried to, they're gone. They're gone now.
Yeah. Mhm.
And a lot of them in very strange ways.
Yeah, Isaac Cappy was driving through Arizona, and Arizona is, a real center of the deep state, and that's where I uncovered that huge crime in Phoenix. And Isaac
Right.
Cappy was driving. That's where he was supposedly, jumped off a bridge. He
Supposedly.
was driving through Arizona, and Arizona, they were probably highly involved in some kind of a cover up involving his whole death, because it's like the whole thing was real suspicious when I heard it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
No,
So,
highly suspicious.
And God
Debbie,
knows what happened.
that's right.
Mhm.
So do you want to tell everybody where they can find your other podcast, and if they have any questions or might be
Yeah.
going through the same thing, you want to tell them where they can find you?
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel. You can find me under Debbie Davis, Arizona National Guard Whistleblower. That's my YouTube channel. I can be reached at soldierdebbie at protonmail.com. Soldierdebbie at protonmail.com. And then you can call me at 651-767-2892. And so, yeah, those are, I've had a YouTube channel now. I've been on various different podcasts. I don't know. There's a dog barking outside here, and my dog is going crazy right now. But
Oh,
yeah, so we don't usually have like dogs running loose, but there's one outside right now apparently. My
that's
dog
weird.
my dog is freaking out right now. But yeah, so yeah, so I have I'm a veteran, and so a lot of veterans have watched my channel, and so I try to help do things that to help other veterans. I talk a lot about veterans issues and things like that. So okay,
That sounds good, Debbie. Thank you,
Yes.
Debbie, so much.
okay,
Yes, thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it. And I will tonight send Susie the link to the show for tomorrow. If you want to, like I said, if you want to come and hear what she's talking about with North Carolina, so she can get that to you, so that tomorrow you can.
I'd like to hear. I'd like to be on that. That's at 5 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'd like to hear that.
5 o'clock Central Time. So yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
Nadine is really good. She is so heartfelt into all this stuff, and she has been working her tail off to try to do things for these people. They've gotten campers donated to them, RVs donated to them for these people to have places to stay, tents, everything. I mean, she is just really, they are really dug in there in North Carolina. So,
okay.
But yeah, so you can do that tomorrow. And everybody, like I said, I've got 2 shows tomorrow. I have got Nadine at 5, and then we're going to have Michael Anthony will be back tomorrow at 8 o'clock, and he promises he'll behave himself so we don't get put in the doghouse with YouTube again for a whole week. So I you know what? I love to listen to Michael. He has got so much information in his head. Sometimes I just say to myself, well, it was worth it. So whatever. But so we will be back tomorrow. And everybody, you guys have a very good night. Everybody stay safe. We'll see you tomorrow. And like always, please be kind to one another. Have a good night.
Thank you so much. Thank
Goodbye for now, from Beyond the Box.
Please join us again for Beyond the Box, Friday and Saturday evenings, from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern. Join us for more intel bombs from our extraordinary guests.
Good night, Putin. Good night, Tucker.